All right, and it looks like I am live. Give me one. All right. What's going on, guys? Oh, let me turn this down. There we go. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. Last week, I'm not exactly sure. Nobody commented. Well, there were a couple. But again, I just hope you guys can hear me okay. I haven't really tested this out too much besides, the last time I've done a season of Coloring with Jeff. But let me know if you can hear me okay. All right, so I was going to do two pieces today, but I decided, I'm like, you know what? There's one piece that I really want to do. I haven't colored them in a little bit. And because this is a brand new season, kind of a brand new thing I'm trying here with Coloring with Jeff, I'm just going to recolor it. Actually, I've never colored this particular one. I've colored the characters before, but I've never colored this exact piece. So hopefully you guys will definitely enjoy it. So this is from my very own Fairytale Land. This is featuring Alice in Wonderland and the Queen of Hearts. And of course, I got my own little twisted way, my own twisted mind of how these characters look, and kind of like their different backstories and whatnot. So, but without further ado, just give me 1 second here. Let me. I'm also going to have to sometimes probably go back and forth with comments. So if you do have a comment, please feel free to ask, because you're going to ask in real time and you're going to get an answer also in real time. So, but I may have to stop because I'm a few feet away from my actual computer. I'm at my coloring desk, so I may not be able to get to you right that second, but just give me about a minute and I'll look over, see if I have a comment. If I do, I'll stop and I'll answer the questions. So, okay, again, without further ado, let me just flip this camera around and let's get started. So just bear with me for 1 second here. That was not it. There we go. And I'm going to flip it this way. All right, it's not letting me flip it all of a sudden. So that's not good. Now let's try it. It's still really not letting me. I don't know why I had no problem last week. Yeah, it's not letting me do this for some reason, guys. I do apologize for the delay here. I don't know why it's not letting me do this. All right. There we go. Okay, now it let me do it. All right, sorry again about that, guys. I don't know why my phone was kind of flipping out. But it was. Okay. How can we see this? You guys can see this okay, I hope. And again, sorry for the little technical issues there. Okay. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get started. And again, guys, if you have any questions throughout the entire episode, let me know. I'm more than happy to answer questions. All right. What I like to do is I like to start with there we go. There we go. What I like to do is I like to start with the skin tones. And I will try my hardest to make sure my hand is out of the way. So what's going on here is, unfortunately, Alice got in trouble. As we all know, we've all seen the cartoon, or at least most of us have. Alice got in trouble because she was painting the roses red. Because they, unfortunately, her cards actually planted white roses. So Alice was going to see the Queen because she wanted to get home. And she got caught up with the cards, the playing cards, of painting her roses red. And she got really upset about that. However, I did a comic strip, which is actually where this hand coloring comes from. I did a comic strip, same kind of thing. The Queen is all upset. She's angry. She's frustrated. She can't believe. She goes, off with their heads. But Alice stops her and says, well, wait a minute. That was when we were painting the roses red, but now we're painting them blue. So could we still get in trouble? And then the Queen, she's like, oh, okay. She got confused. And that's where this comes from. So what do you think? Do you think she's going to cut off Alice's head because she's painting the roses blue? Or do you think she's just going to scream and yell or just walk away? Oh, you decide, guys. And just come down here a little bit. She's got a little bit of leg showing. You go, girl. All right. So again, what I like to do is, like I said, start with the skin tones. And I have a few different skin tones that I'm going to be using. I'm going to have an announcement after, as I'm talking here, but I want to finish this. But I like to add, I just like skin tones, just working with them. They're just, I don't know, it really could tell a lot about the character. If, for instance, like their eyes, if they're really upset, you can color their eyes like red. That's not really a skin tone. I don't know what I'm talking about. I just kind of went off, aka off script there. I got like four things that just popped in my mind at the same time. But anyways, going back to this. Sorry, guys. The skin tones are actually very important to know. And when I first started coloring, I thought I screwed up majorly. But then I had the first artist that I worked with in comic books. He told me, he's like, Jeff, you've got the perfect skin tones. How do you do it? I just told him, I said, honestly, I don't know. They just kind of came naturally to me. And ever since then, I even had a lot of fans tell me the same thing, like, Jeff, your skin tones are great. A lot of different artists have said, hey, what do you use for this? What do you use for that? And you know what? Honestly, it really does come down to how you want the characters to look. It's art. So it's whatever you want them to look like. Because, you know, the markers that I use are mainly Prismacolor markers, which I'll get to in a minute. So that's what I'm using right now, the Prismacolor marker. And for me, they're fantastic. But then, you know, I can go and talk to another artist, and that person might be using Copic markers or might be using the new Olo markers. It just really depends on what you're using, because I can give you like my little secrets, but then you might be using a different kind of marker. You know what I mean? Okay. Don't really want to use that one. So I got the windows open here, and it's beautiful outside. A little muggy-ish, kind of, but it's really nice here. So you might hear, like in the background, you might hear like, you know, some of the. My apartment, unfortunately, is right over all of the air conditioners. So you might hear some humming in the background, and if you do, it's just the air conditioners. But I have some music on too. And yes, YouTube and Facebook, I have permission to play this music, but this is music for my studio and I have the rights. Yes, I actually do. All right. So skin tones are done. So I'm going to work from left to right, kind of basically how we read, how we write, and all that stuff. So I'm going to go left to right. So I'm going to work on the queen first. And I'm going to start with her crown, because her crown is gold. You know, this one is kind of easy. Because now I like to leave a lot of like the white highlights. Here, luckily, I don't have to do that because it's already there for me. I'm going to make this also a goldish yellow color. Okay. So one thing I kind of found out, this was the kind of announcement I was gonna be making. Unfortunately, now I use a lot of Prismacolor, as I had said before. However, unfortunately, Prismacolor markers no longer sells individual markers. Don't know why, but they don't. So what that means is I'm going to have to start switching over all of my markers for the most part to Copic markers. Copic, Copic, potato, whatever you want to call it. Trying to get the right color for her hair. There we go. I'm not very happy about it, but you know, for many years, you know, Prismacolor they sell individual markers, but for some reason, the company got bought out. And believe it or not, they got bought out by Rubbermaid. Yes, Rubbermaid, the people who do all the totes and all that kind of stuff, the plastic stuff. Well, why they bought Blick or the marker company, I don't know. But as soon as they bought it, they put out a notice saying that they are going to be stopping to sell all of their individual markers. I thought it was just like a joke. I really did. Unfortunately, no. It is all real. So I went to the store yesterday or the other day and saw that literally they have no Prismacolor individual markers. They only have the sets. So if you run out of just one red, let's say I run out of this color, I run out of red. I can't just go and buy a red. I have to go buy an entire set. Yeah, kind of stinks. So I'm going to have to switch markers over. And I'm going to have to go to Copic, which is fine, which is completely fine. They're just a lot more money. A lot more money. But I think it was inevitable. It was going to happen anyway. Gotta get a darker color. Want to go this dark? Yeah, probably. There we go. So the other markers that I use, which is actually what I'm using right now, these are the Blick Studio markers. And if you're not familiar with with what Dick Blick is, they are an art store. Man, they've got everything there. So, but they came out with their own markers a few years back, and they're very comparable to Prismacolor. The only thing is, unfortunately, they don't have all the colors that Prismacolor has. So I have to kind of tinker around and just kind of find all the different colors that I need so I can make my own colors and then actually start coloring them, using them so I can start getting used to the feel. Because it is a different feel than what I'm doing right now, believe it or not. I know it sounds kind of weird, but all right, so next I'm going to do the dark red Queen of Hearts here. Make sure I'm picking the right colors. Oops. Okay. So her dress is actually a couple different colors in my mind. So definitely, staying within the red family, but just using a couple different colors of red to make her dress. All right. Okay. So a lot of the pieces that I hand color, I mat them all. Actually, I mat them all up, and I bring them with me to all the conventions. So like this piece, if it is not sold before the end of this episode, I will actually have with me at all the conventions. And this year, I kind of picked up a little bit of conventions. Next year, believe it or not, I'm already working on next year's shows. And next year I've got a couple of shows I've done in the past, but I really haven't done anything with the studio with those shows. So I'm kind of excited about them. They're big shows. So I'm going to go into more detail definitely much later on this year about that. But it's like the first show, the show coming up this month, I only have one. It's a CTSC or something like that. It's a monster show. And it's at the Hyatt, or the Crown, I'm sorry, the Crown Plaza, O'Hare. So if you know where Wizard World, I'm sorry, where Fan Expo Chicago is, it's actually not that far. It's like right down the road from there at the hotel. So yeah, they made me a guest there, so I'm kind of excited. We're also doing a free limited or free print exclusive for when you walk in. So that's kind of cool. All right. Now I'm gonna get my regular red out. Oops. Yeah. Like I said, I've got a couple different reds that I use for this. Now, normally I would flip this marker around and I would use the thicker the chisel end. But for some reason, I guess I must have been lazy just this second and decided not to do that with this one. Make sure you guys can still see that. Yep, okay, good. Oh, then I got one more color I'm going to be using. Now, because again, I don't have all of my colors, or not even Prismacolor or anybody, I make my own colors. So this red that I actually laid down here is going to be a different color. It's going to be more of a vibrant red. You can probably see that as I'm going over this other red marker. That's more of the color I want, that bright, vibrant, regular, true red, if you will. Okay. And I'm going to leave all those little white marks in there because, again, it just kind of shows that there's a separation. It just kind of shows, I don't want to say depth, but kind of like depth, somewhat. I might color some of it in. I'm not sure yet. We'll see. All right. Then I've got another color of red. Yeah, there's a lot of reds. This is actually a poppy red. That's what the name of it is, a poppy red. So that might almost make her look a little too weird, but it really doesn't. Once the whole piece is together, you'll understand, and you'll see it and go, oh, okay. Because I didn't want to just have it one color, because sometimes when you do that, especially when you're coloring, it just kind of takes away from, it just looks like one big red blob, like right in the center, and it's like, this is kind of a little more appealing to the eye, I think. All right, now we're going to make this a very dark red. Okay. And I'm going to color in some of these little white streaks here. I'm going to color them in with the brighter red that I use for over here. There we go. Okay. They started kind of distracting me a little bit. However, I'm going to use the same color for here. Oh, ugh, yep. Okay. Oop, almost forgot a couple of hearts. So these I kind of do, I like to do more in like the pink. So still within the reddish family, but I just do them more on the pink side just to add a little more color to the piece. Okay, so the queen is done. So see, it's not that long. It doesn't take too long. Alice, she's going to take even less time because she's basically just has a blue and then the gold hair. What I like to do with Alice's hair is I like to just add a little bit of a highlight, and those could be, yeah. So there's going to be a couple different layers of marker here. Like lightest to darkest is usually how I like to go. You can, if you really wanted to, you could go from darkest to lightest. Sometimes the only problem with that is that if you make a mess up, you really can't go over it. So what I mean is, so if you, so like right now, if I were to screw up on the lightest part, it's okay because I'm going to take other markers, I'm going to go around it, and you can kind of fix the problem. But if you're going the opposite way, you're doing dark first and then you're going light. If you screwed up on the dark, you can't cover that up. You know. Okay. You can take your sharp point, kind of go over the hair separations. There we go. Okay. And then there's the inside of her mouth here, which I'm just going to make into a, there we go, kind of a pink. All right, so now I'm going to work on her dress, which is, like I said before, it's that lighter blue color. So it's pretty easy. Color this up. And I'm going to leave those little ruffles right there. I'm going to leave those white. Just go around. Okay. Oops. I'm going to take my black marker and I'm going to color in her shoes. Oh, the picture keeps falling. Sorry, guys. So definitely here, that white little streak that's left right there, that actually helps a lot. That is the shine of her shoes. Now, if I didn't have that there, it would just look like one big black smudge straight across there. It would look kind of confusing. Okay. You're going to be that way, huh? Okay. All right. Then, so sometimes for a shadow, I'll add like a lighter gray color, just as a shadow. And it kind of just pulls, it just kind of pulls whatever I'm shadowing. It just kind of pulls it away from the piece a little bit. Kind of gives it, like, for instance, like the puff kind of gives it more of a round look. And then I definitely use lighter gray. For me, the same color. I use a lighter gray on the whites as well. Now, there's not a lot to doing Alice, in all honesty. Oh, forgot one thing. Forgot her hair piece. We're gonna make that the same color of her dress. There we go. So coming up in the near future, I'm going to be actually doing all of my coloring with Jeff episodes. I'm going to be doing those live on YouTube only, coming up soon. So not like next week, not yet, but I will be doing them on YouTube. So if you haven't already, please subscribe to the Jeff Balke Studios YouTube channel, and then don't miss an episode. This was her painting the roses blue. Almost just like an ice cream cone. So I think I have enough green here. I believe I do. Yeah, I think so. So I'm going to color in all the bushes behind the ladies here. Or actually, first, before I do that, I'm going to color in the rest of the brush. Just going to use this. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to go back. I'm going to start working on the bushes. Hope you guys can see that all okay. So this is where I always say it's very important to go in the same direction when you're coloring something bigger like these bushes, because you have to kind of go in a straight line. Now, do you have to? Is that a rule? No, of course not. You're not going to go to like art jail or anything like that if you don't do it. But because it's a bigger piece, you're coloring something bigger behind the characters. What you don't want to do is you don't want to take away, if it go up and down in circles, back and forth, whichever way you want to always go the same way, because if you don't, you're going to take away the visual appeal of the characters, and it's going to be focused on the background. That's not what you want. Because markers, regardless, are always going to be a little streaky. Doesn't matter what you try to do. They're going to be a little streaky. Are there ways to get rid of the streaks? Yep. Completely? Not necessarily. One thing, I don't use it, but it's a colorless blender. Every marker company has one. Prismacolor, Copic. I mean, I even saw Crayola. They've got their own too. I just don't use it because I don't think I use it right, first of all. But I tried using it before and it didn't end very well. Because it's colorless and I didn't see a whole lot really going on, I just kept going over the same spot over and over and over and over again. And unfortunately kind of made a hole in the piece. So that was not very good. And after that, I said, nope, not using it again. How's this? Okay, turning out. Okay, good. Okay. I'm just gonna put this out there. If anybody is interested in this piece, and this is kind of this video, basically really is your COA, your certificate of authenticity, because you're physically watching me do it right here. If anybody is interested in this piece and you would like to buy it, please shoot me a message. It's actually a really good price. Comes matted, of course, in a mat, and it also comes in the bag and board as well for extra protection. So if you're interested, please let me know. The price is only going to be $45. That's it, just $45. Trying to find the next green that I'm going to be using. I have another one. This green I'm about to use is kind of already dying, which kind of stinks. But that's why I always have backups. And I actually have backups for my backups. I have got a lot of markers always at my disposal. And all I'm trying to do is just kind of stick with how it looks up on top. Okay, so again, I'm going to go through and I'm just going to color in with the dark marker. All right, so why am I doing it like this? Well, because I had said just a little earlier, and I think I say all the time, is that I can't always find the exact colors that I'm looking for the characters, or for backgrounds, or for whatever. So I have to make my own. And what I've noticed is when I create my own markers, I've noticed that some of the colors I use, they're a little brighter, they're more vibrant, more like poof, in your face. And that's exactly what this is. If I were just to color just this part dark, and then I just did that first color green, I just went through the tops of the trees of the bushes, this marker I'm using would be so much darker, and it wouldn't look right. And so that's one of the reasons why I do it, why I did it that way. So you can still see that there's some streaks in there. But if I started going in a different direction right now, and instead of going up and down, I want to go back and forth or in circles, it would completely screw up the flow. And your eye would be drawn to the boo-boo, the mess up, versus the actual characters themselves. There we go, we're almost done. Just got this little bit to do over here. Okay. So that's that part done. Now I'm going to get this lighter blue. Now what's really cool about doing these flowers is that you don't have to do them, or I don't have to do them all perfectly blue, because they're painted. And a lot of that paint unfortunately dripped on the ground. So it's dripped off. So that one was kind of easy. Okay, so one more thing I like to do is I'm going to color in just the bottom here as well. Oops. And I like doing that because it shows that they're standing on something other than just, air. Oh, and you know what? I just saw something. There we go. Oh, she's done. Okay. Now, kind of the same thing. Kind of start from the top, just work my way down. But I'm only using one marker for this. Okay. Yeah, make sure you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Alice painting the roses blue. So I'm going to take this off of here real quick. Bear with me. You can kind of see this a little bit closer. And I like putting the shadows in the backgrounds there because it makes the characters look like they're popping right off the page, which, you know, they're kind of they're in the foreground. They should be popping off the page. All right. Put this around. So, guys, I just want to say thank you very much. I really appreciate you guys staying here, checking things out. These are live videos, of course, and I know I kind of do them in the middle of the day, which is sometimes kind of difficult, so you can't ask questions. You can ask me a question at any time. You can ask me what markers are those, what kind of paper is good to use. You can ask me any kind of question. Just please leave me a comment. Either leave a comment or you can just private message me on Facebook. I don't know if you can do that on YouTube, but you can at least do it on Facebook. You can send me an email at jeff@jeffbalkystudios.com, and I'm more than happy to help you guys out as much as I can. This is such a big industry, but yet I know it can seem so small. And there's so many people that want to do something in the arts industry, so there's a lot that can be done. So if you have any questions about anything that I've already done, what I've worked on, any of the characters, please let me know. Next week, same time, 12 p.m., I will only be live on YouTube. So, and then I'm going to share everything over to Facebook. I'm going to see how that goes for a couple of weeks. If it doesn't work out, then, well, I'll switch back. But so please, if you haven't already, go to youtube.com/JeffBalkyStudios and subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to get as many people as I can up there, because the more people I have, the more things I can do on YouTube. So I'm really looking, hopefully trying to get 1,000. I'd like to maybe get 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year, because then I can really blow up, do a lot of stuff. So thank you guys again very much. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Coloring with Jeff. Next week, I've got an all brand new piece I've never colored before, which is going to be kind of fun. Possibly 2 pieces that I've never colored before. So I hope to see you guys next week at 12 o'clock Central Time on the YouTube channel, Jeff Balky Studios YouTube channel. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great week. It's beautiful here. Go outside and enjoy. And I'll see you guys hopefully next week. Bye, guys.